British news agency TT. So I have a question for you regarding the North Korean soldiers. And I wonder, are North Korean soldiers already operating on the ground, on the battlefield in Ukraine, to your knowledge? And how serious a threat is North Korea and their actions towards Ukraine?
So, about North Korea, what information we have. And for us, it's a fact. And I know that there are some partners who are very skeptical that North Korean soldiers on the ground, but it's their problems. We have real problem. We are in the face of this war, and not only one country against us. So North Korean soldiers are already on the territory of Russia, already preparing for fight, already 3,000 of soldiers with officers and with generals. That information what we have, yes, then, so we are not waiting, but we understand that some additional thousands will come, they are on the way, and we think that the information from our intelligence, yes, that they will come about 12,000 will be on the ground, will fight against us. That's information for today. Today in the morning, at 7 in the morning, I had a conversation with the president of South Korea. I described him situation, and we changed opinions and etc. And he also understands that the soldiers of North Korea are already in Russia. Is it dangerous? Yes. I had now a conversation with Nordic prime ministers, and I said to them that I think that the voice of the United States, the voice of NATO, the voice of Western partners, the voice of Global South and China is not so loud as it has to be now about North Korean contingent on the territory of Russia. I think it's very dangerous. It opens the new page in this war. It will be the same like it was at the very beginning of occupying by Russia our Crimea, because silent was from the West. So nobody wanted to react. I don't know why, but everybody was afraid not to escalate. They love very much this race, not escalate. And then Putin, he tries once with Crimea, then he understood that he can continue, and he tried with Donbass, and he made a success. Donbass was occupied, and after 8 years of two lands of Ukraine, two parts of our land, he began the full-scale war. He always like tests, yes, in English, tests, yes, he tests, he tries how it works, how West will react. The same with North Korea soldiers. I had meetings with leaders, a lot of different leaders, and NATO and etc. And I said to them that this is very dangerous, and I think that we need strong reaction on it. Till now, we heard some reaction, but it's not strong enough. That's why Putin is testing, and then I don't know how many soldiers from North Korea or from Iran, I don't know, they can come more.
My name is Emir from Channel 2. We hear a lot of numbers, of course, about casualties on the Russian side and the Ukrainian side. And yesterday you told us, the press, that 800 Russians had fallen in only one day. The day
650, I said.
Yes, yeah, something like that. Of course, we know in war, people on both sides are falling. There are millions of Ukrainians living outside Ukraine, people who have fled the war. Would you like some of them to return to Ukraine to help in the war effort with your armed forces?
We can't pressure and push people to come back. I can give very loudly message to our Ukrainians who are abroad to come and help, to work in defense industry, to help our soldiers, to pay taxes, to support Ukraine. I can say it, and of course with pleasure. And of course we need their support, we need their help. But not all of them. There are some very old people who went abroad because of the war, lost houses and etc. I don't want to push them, because if they will come back, they will not help. They can't. With all respect to their ages and to their persons, but we understand each other. The same about the children. Of course, I fully respect families and children who are in Ukraine and they go to underground schools. I respect their willingness, their, I don't know, you know, they're something, they're heroic people, they're very special, but I can't push messages to children who are already abroad because of different reasons of this war. You know, this war brought a lot of different reasons to people, not good reasons to go out. And that's why I can't push them to come back. By the way, a lot of families, you know, when the, for example, women with the mom, with grandma, and with the children, they went abroad, but the men, they've been on the battlefield. And it's a pity. My condolences again to all the families, but there are a lot of families who are abroad and their men been killed by Russians. Here, yes, they saved our land. Yes, it's true. And their children never forget. All we will never forget. But you see, so different situations, different families, different reasons.
Mr. President, my name is David. I come from Swedish radio. You spoke earlier about that the West didn't act enough on the news of the North Korean soldiers. What kind of reaction would you like to see from the world?
You know, when we raise up the topic, for example, about a long-distance weapon for Ukraine, permission for Ukraine to use it, especially on military targets on the territory of Russia, everybody, not everybody, some of the countries, they say, oh, it's crossing red lines. And if we will give you permission, Russia will escalate, will answer on this escalation. So I'm sorry, but I think the North Korean soldier, this is escalation, not from our side, from the side of Russia. And we don't have possibilities to stop, including North Korea's soldiers, during they are on the territory of Russia. It means that we can defend our land only when they destroy our land, when they already on our land, when they occupied our land, when they already killed our children or trying to do it. So we have permission only at this moment to do something. That's about North Korea. That's about everything. That's really between us. It was before the full-scale war. There are prevention things of so many leaders in the world, so many strong economies, so many strong countries, a lot of prevention steps. When I asked them in the victory plan to give me the package of long-distance weapon, and we will use it only if Russia will not stop the war and will not stop continuing escalation, I said, this is a prevention method. They said to me, this is escalation. When a lot of countries began to support victory plan, you see what's going on now in media, they said that Ukraine wants or wanted a lot of missiles like Tomahawk and etc. But it was confidential information between Ukraine and White House. How to understand these messages? So it means between partners, There is no any confidential things. This is the second. And the third, so, I mean, what we will do if 100,000 of North Korean soldiers will come? If they will come on our territory, what we will do? What West will do? What Russia, what United States will do? So a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of questions, a lot of, a lot of rhetoric and less steps, strong steps of leaders.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon.
Zelenskyy. I'm Joachim Wegstad from Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation. I would actually like to start this session by talking a little bit about what's coming in the US election now, because we see a US election where the possibility that the Republican Party might come back to power, and I know we discussed this before, whether or not Trump has said he would cease support to Ukraine, but at least he has said that he wants to give support to Ukraine as a loan. Can you explain a little bit about how you see the consequences for Ukraine if the US support decreases significantly after the election, or when the Republicans come to power?
First of all, we don't decide who will be the president of the United States, and it's good, God bless, they will choose in a week or something like this. The president, of course, Ukraine will work, I think, like all the world. We will work with the partners, it's our strategic partners, the United States. We will work with any president the people of the United States will choose. Of course, it's understandable. Of course, we want not to change. We hope that the policy of the United States will not change, and they will support, because when we say about the policy of the United States, not only White House, it's the Congress, it's the Senate, it's bipartisan support, which we had. Yes, a lot of different voices, it's good. I mean, it's normal. Maybe it's not sometimes very good for us, but it's normal. It's, free people, they can raise their thoughts, what they want, what they need, how they see how this war can be finished. But mostly the policy didn't change during all this period. So, by the way, and Republicans and Democrats, all of them mostly been on our side. I think it's also always basis on the character of and on emotions of an opinion of society, of Americans, just ordinary people. And I think mostly Americans on our side, because they understand that we defend our common values. It's not the war in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. This is really attack on our common values, attack from Russia, yes, and they want to destroy all this, democracy, freedom, people, all our rights and our values. So that's why I hope that totally it will not be changed. But of course, nobody knows. And of course, you're right. Can it be? Yes, it can. It depends on us for today? No. It depends on the leader who will be chosen by people of the United States. But I'm not sure that it will totally be changed. I mean that even if there are some people who will win, even if they see some deals, some quick deals, some quick steps, and etc. We are also on the side of quick decision of the peace, but not only. We have to pay for this. We are not aggressors, never. Yeah, so Russia is aggressor and they have to pay. So if we will have this common philosophy and common view on it, of course we'll be happy. If not, just to remind that Europe is big, much more bigger than Russia, I mean by economy and weapon, by military segment, and very strong. So not to lose. So the plan with not such big support from the United States, or like you said, if the support will decrease, so of course we will count on ourselves and on unity in Europe and on public opinion of the American people. Of course they have influence on any leader. Thank you.
My name is Andres Magnusson from Morgunblaðið here in Iceland. Touching on that and setting the American elections aside, are you not worried about decreasing support in Western Europe? I mean, we see some countries there getting cold feet. And do you think the sanctions are working? Because Western Europe is still, paying a lot of money to the Russians.
The first days of the war, for us, it was very difficult. Really, we've been alone. It's a pity, but we have to recognize we've been mostly without help of United States, help of Europe, and etc. But we knew that we have to survive, and we have to defend our values. Otherwise, Russia would destroy all our country, our nation, history, everything. They want it very much, and I'm not sure that they changed opinion. I think they still want. So, yes, challenges in the policy of Western Europe. Yes, challenges in Europe. Challenges because a lot of elections and people are focusing not on the global challenge like Putin. It's a global challenge. People don't want to recognize sometimes. They think only about the interior questions, but they didn't even focus on Russia. But sometimes the interior questions depends on Russia because they work with disinformation, they work with lobby, with parliamentarians of different countries, with businesses. They have a lot of instruments how to influence and how to change the policy of one or another country. That's why we try not to lose the unity in EU, in Europe totally, but first of all in EU. Yes, it's true. I think this is the most biggest our allies. And of course, the unity between EU and the United States. I think it has not been disappeared. I think this is also a big challenge after election American challenge also. So this unity within both of them, EU and United States, and unity between them, sometimes we try to do our best. It doesn't mean that only we do our best. No, a lot of different partners, countries, but all of us have to work on it. This is our task. After this, we began to work with Global South, a little bit with Africa. It's also very difficult because Russia, they put so many money to relations between Africa, African Union, African countries, Russia and them, and there is historical experience of the Soviet Union and Africa, the same with India, China, Asia, and etc. So a lot of money, a lot of years, a lot of influence. And it's difficult to change, in one moment, very difficult. But we try our best.
Mr. President, my name is Hallgrímur. I am from the RUV, the Icelandic National Broadcasting Service. Back on North Korean soldiers, and a bit of a follow-up from the question of my Swedish colleague here. Emmanuel Macron, President of France, mentioned a few months ago that you couldn't exclude sending troops, European troops, to Ukraine. Does the sending North Korean soldiers to Russia, in your view, increase the chances of other Europeans to simply sending troops instead of only weapons and planes to Ukraine?
Not sure, really, between us. I know how everybody is skeptical about it and very cautious about it, and we never pushed this idea, and we never spoke about it with details. I mean, it's very dangerous. I mean, dangerous when you don't have such decision from the leaders and from societies and etc. It's very dangerous to raise up this topic, really, because you can lose all other support. So we can't, mention it. We can't. It can't be our just public will, because otherwise it can destroy all other support, and we can't risk to lose those support which we already have.
Okay, my next question is a bit about the war that's going on right now, but on the front lines. Russia is gaining land slowly but still at several occasions in Ukraine. There's also winter coming. How do you look at the future for Ukraine the coming months? Is there any hope? Are you hopeless or hopeful?
First of all, you know, there are a lot of deals which been done by Ukrainian partners, and everybody has just to do their job, I think. Because if you gave the word, yes, have to do it. Not too much, not more, but not less. This is the rule of the war, because you have to count on very specific things in a very concrete time. Otherwise, you can't manage this situation. You can't manage defending lines, you can't manage it, you can't secure people, you can't prepare to the winter. Even during the war, you can prepare if everybody do their job. I think to defend Ukraine for today, it's a common job. Yes, I think so. Maybe I'm not right. I'm sharing with you what I think. For example, when the NATO countries said that for today we're not ready because of the war, not ready to see Ukraine in NATO. It was, for example, before Washington summit. Yes, and we don't ready to do more strong steps in it, but we are ready to give you, for example, 6-7 systems, very specific systems which will defend your sky. You can't be, I mean, you can't compare these things. But during the war you say, yes, of course. We will not be very loud, will not raise up this topic. We need really to save the unity. We are thankful for your help. And of course, these systems are very important. And of course, for us, it's risk. Yes? To risk to lose this opportunity when partners propose. But when you made such decision, and we made a decision that before the school year in the Ukraine beginning 1st of September, yes, second, it was second because Sunday was first, it's to be very concrete, yes, but if till now you didn't get this number, if till now you didn't get, and you can't count on this big support of air defense during the heating season, which already began in Ukraine, or cold days will be now. I mean, that's so. What you can do? It means that the guys who said and gave the word, their word, that they will provide you, and you count on it because you understood that these systems will stay. This system will save people. This system will save schools. This system will save petrol, which we have, but we will lose. This system will gas storages. So you preparing that country for the winter, which is crucial, which is big challenge, very big challenge for us, because it will be the third winter with blackouts, with everything. So this is the problem, and then you said what to do, for example, when Russia gains or something, some steps forward on the east. This is the same. You do your job, you count on reserves, you count on special brigades, you count on such equipment, and if you've got 10% from all the package, been even voted already, you know, that it's not funny, but it's, you know, but the Congress voted. I mean, it's not a question of money. It's also always the question with bureaucracy or logistic, with ideas or with skepsis, with this weapon is good, this weapon is bad, this we will give you, this is not, this is cross of red lines, this is what Putin's reaction will be, you know? That's it about it. It's not just a war on the battlefield where you pushed partners and partners understood you and gave you after the decision just did and you, for example, win or you lose and you make the answer for your society, for society of the world. You can say, yes, we are winners or we are the losers. So, I mean, this if everything goes like it goes, like you planned with the partners, it's not just your crazy plan. You understand? It's just understanding of everybody. That's it. So when you say, for example, what to do is just to survive, to live, to fight. Of course, thinking first of all about people and then about the lands. And that's why they have steps forward. Because when I've got the information so that on one direction the number of people or troops 1 to 8. And of course the signal is to stay. It means to die or to make some steps on more, higher points and etc. and to control it and to save lives. Of course, go back, guys. Save soldiers, save people. This is real, this war, how it looks. Yes, of course, elections are more important.
I want to talk about a little bit about the advances that the Ukrainian army has done in Kursk, or Kursk, if that's the pronunciation, I'm not sure.
You have good pronunciation.
Is it Kursk or Kursk?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Kursk. As we have seen in the news here in the West, it has been helping Ukraine to attack airfields, infrastructure, gas and oil infrastructures inside Russia. Are you still not allowed to use long-range European, American missiles to weaken the Russian advances from Kursk area? And because this will be probably my last opportunity to ask a question to you, just one final thing. Because of your past as a comedian, does it help to have a humor in all of this?
Thank you so much. So first of all, you have to understand how this operation began. The beginning was from Russian side. We got the information from intelligence and we shared this information with partners, just for you to know that always Ukraine shared with partners. Maybe they will help us in one or another case. So we've got the information that on the east, we have big city, by the way, more than 1 million people, Kharkiv. That Russia can, not will, we just have some intelligence, can make operation, can destroy defending line. They bombed Kharkiv. They always, when they want to go somewhere, they begin to bomb, to make chaos in the city, to pressure people to run away and to destroy as maximum as possible. This is their way of, with all these cities and villages during all this war, this thing. So they began to do such things in the Kharkiv region. We said, partners, we need to destroy their capabilities on the territory of Russia. Because from the territory of Russia, they destroy Kharkiv, and we can't targeting them. We don't have these instruments. Partners didn't give us permission. Till now, they didn't give. But I'm telling you from the very beginning, they didn't give us. We began to fight with Russians on the territory of Kharkiv region. Yes, they destroyed some lines, but we stopped them. And then we've got information that on the north, they will do the same. Buffer zone, as Putin said publicly that they want to do the buffer zone. As you remember, nobody answered to Putin. He said yes, very publicly. Especially he said that he will do the buffer zone, buffer, yeah, sorry, buffer zone through our north, east, all our territory. What does it mean? It means, he said publicly, 10, 30 kilometers so on our territory. So it's hundreds of villages and it's cities, so yeah. So that's it. That's why when we understood that nobody gave us long distance weapon and they destroyed us from their territory, to do buffer zone on the north, on the north, of course we decided to go to the Kursk, to those regions, to make a buffer zone on their territory, or something like this, not to give them possibility, because they destroyed schools, they already, by artillery and long-distance weapon, they destroyed, to this moment, schools, and they attacked hospitals, they attacked energy, and they destroyed a lot of things. In the capital of North region, in the city of Sumy, the name is Sumy. So we went there. Yes, we had success. Yes, we controlled this territory because of this. But you can see, they said in Western media that we are trying to occupy some plants, some energy systems, some nuclear station. No, we didn't even try. That's what we did. And also it helped that some troops from Kharkiv region, they moved to the north, to the Kursk, from our territory. And also from the east, where it's difficult, as I said to you, that 1 to 8, if we compare our troops with Russia, 1 to 8, also they moved some from the east, not enough to stop them on the east. Yes, not enough, but we made some steps. Even after this North capital, which we saved for today, and I hope for the future, even after this, we asked the permission. We wrote the victory plan. We gave them. They always, when we propose something to our partners, they always say, yes, but it depends on the will of one and another. No, this plan was depending only on the will of partners, not on the will of Russia. Only on the will of partners. They had to accept this plan. And a lot of countries began to accept. And a lot of countries began to tell us, you know, a little bit pressure on us, they said, from some leaders. Yes, because you want too much. Too much for what? We want to live. Is it too much? Just to live. That's it. That's about victory plan. That's about the north. That's about the east. It's about Kursk operation. Russia thinks that they are very strong, but if we wanted to occupy their nuclear station, we did it. We could do it, but we never wanted. We never, because we understand what does it mean. That we will be the same as Russia. We are not occupying their critical infrastructure, like they did with the Zaporizhzhia nuclear station.
Mr. President, you spoke yesterday in your meeting with the Nordic prime ministers about the Russian shadow fleet. What kind of sanctions would you like to see against the Russian shadow fleet?
These sanctions, some of the partners during EU sessions and the EU meetings raised up already. It's meant to stop their fleet. For today, stop it by the way, in the Nordic territorial waters, and it's really difficult. You need decision not only Nordic, you need the decision of EU. But Nordic can raise up this topic, of course, because it's not only about this. Money. It's about environmental risks and etc. But if we speak about the money, it's true that we think about 10 to 12 billion Russia makes on this shadow fleet per month. And if you will count the support, what I said to partners yesterday, that if we will count all support what Ukraine got during the period of the war, from all the partners, by the way, you will see that their fleet brought them more money. So if such sanctions don't work, if they can make such big money, and in this it means that sanctions don't work. No, they work, but not 100%.
Another question, Zelensky, would be the solution, or let's call it the end of this war. Most politicians and diplomats you speak with would say that wars actually ends at the negotiation table. How do you see any possibilities in the near or long future for any peace negotiations between you and your enemy?
To strengthen Ukraine, first of all, and we proposed victory plan. You can strengthen Ukraine geopolitically, to give us invitation, just to speak about it. Even some parties afraid to speak about it. I think this is the problem, because if they afraid even to speak about the invitation, what negotiations will be with Russia, on what side partners will be during the meeting, it's very dangerous for us. So I don't see total support of a future of Ukraine, and we are speaking about just our security, and we are speaking just about invitation, not membership, invitation. Then about the package. When I spoke about the package, again, not to use, just to put it. Put it to Ukraine and say Russians, no secrets. Say Russians what you gave us, and we will not use it. So the first point, to strengthen Ukraine, it means to strengthen before any kind of negotiations. The second point, to be very fair in negotiations. To be open without any playing games. Any playing games without us, about us with Russians and etc. Doesn't matter on what level, technical, intelligence, it doesn't matter. To be open and very clear. Who is the aggressor? If Russia, okay, let's stop that. If they don't want, do all your steps to stop that. They said to us that it's not good that the peace summit was without Russia. And I said, okay, second summit will be with Russia. Immediately we answered. We are ready, but with a plan. Not to give possibility to Russia, to block any plan. I said the plan. Then our partner said that, yes, we made a progress, we made a good solution, 100 countries plus institutions being represented. Now, we need the plan with Global South. I gave the signal already to Global South, to China, Brazil, and etc. We said, okay, if there are some points, but of course based on UN Charter, but if there are some points in your plan which are very important for you, and you see like a big leaders, you see that it can help bring all us at the meeting and can really stop the fight of, okay, we will take your point to our plan. We are ready. We are very open. I was always very open. Then, when they heard that I'm ready, they said that Ukraine wants only their plan. No. And I'm on the line again. No. This is truth. Bless you. Yeah. So, I mean this. So, we are ready to do this plan wider with these representatives. Okay. Put your points to our plan. Say what is bad in our plan, what is not about justice. Yes, let's just speak, but they don't speak with us. How Brazil, for example, can represent the plan, not speak with us. So, if the reason is in us, if we don't want, okay, they can prepare something. But I said hundreds of times, no, we are ready to discuss. Even your idea, I'm ready to discuss. I'm ready, I'm very open. No answers, till now. But anyway, so we will will prepare the plan, and totally it will be ready in November. And if it will be also some points from other global representatives, we'll be happy to do common plan and put it on the table. And if they want to put Putin, yes, to bring him, okay, bring him. But the one thing, but he doesn't want, because he doesn't know what to do after this war. What he will do. This is his plan. We have our plan, but he has his own plan.
Mr. President, you mentioned that your partners in the West are worried about the red lines and escalation and so on. But are you not worried about that? You will not be allowed to prosecute the war in the way you would like to, that you will not be allowed to win any major battles, that you will be forced to be in this endless war of stalemate. And you know, more to the point, what does it do to the moral back home?
First of all, we are people, and we are afraid about our people, and we don't want to waste our people, and we don't want to increase losses. No, we don't want to have any losses. But we are in such circumstances in which Russia pushed us. We never began anything, we never escalated, we never did any steps on their territory or against them or by drones or missiles. They began the war to destroy, occupy and kill all of us. Mostly. It was their idea to join Ukraine to Russia, to make again Soviet Union. They did it now without weapon, but everything began with weapon in Georgia. We have to recognize. In Georgia for today, Russia won. First, they took part of Georgia, then changed the policy, changed the government, and now they have pro-Russian government, pro-Russian positions, no sanctions against Putin. And a lot of Russians in Georgia, their choice is friendship with Russia. Their choice not to go to EU, they changed the position. Russia won for today. Georgia, they took their freedom away. It's about Georgia, about Moldova. They are on the way. You will see. Russia is on the way. They want to do the same. And they will do, if, of course, the West will not stop the dialogues about cross of red lines. If they will not stop this, just continue this rhetoric, they will lose Moldova, 1-2 years. And Ukraine, we are bigger. That is the difference between us and Georgia. We are much more bigger. We have more population, more men who didn't want to be Russians. That's it. That the difference between us and Georgians, we are bigger, 10 times bigger, not 10 times, more than 10 times. Yes, that is the answer. So what we had to do, we just in these circumstances again. And we want to stop the war. About the morality, like during the war, during the history, through the history in each country, sometimes it's very difficult. When partners on our side, the morality is very high. Believe me, when candidate status we got from EU, from one side, is just technical decision. But believe me, that the moral was very high. When the United States said we don't give the long-distance weapon, but Russia attacked us by long-distance weapon, what morale can be? Of course it's decreasing, of course. You have to stay and look like somebody is killing you and you can't answer. Because your main partner is thinking about crossing your lines. That's about moral. Sometimes decreasing, sometimes increasing. Patriots, for example, save their houses. Everybody is happy. Let's push Russians out. If we have blackout, what moral can be? We are just people.
So, Mr. President, do you have concerns that other conflicts in the world, like, for example, in the Middle East, are taking focus away from what is happening in Ukraine?
Of course, taking focus away. But for us, it's understandable. Of course, we support that this conflict or the war in Middle East have to stop, and it's that we understand the results of the war. We don't want people to lose their houses and children, and it's that we understand the price of the war. But of course, from the practical side, if you look at this, so of course, all the conflicts take not only focus and divide the support, divide the military support, of course, take focus on informational support, and etc. It's understandable. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good luck.